So let's have you on your mats, feet firmly planted on the floor. Lift and separate your toes, either in socks or on bare feet. Good. Big toes pushing slightly down into the floor. Remember to just check down at your feet and make sure your toes are pointing forwards, because they're not always, as we find. Hands on your hips. Sink down a little bit into your knees and sink backwards slightly into your heels, and that makes you draw in your tummy slightly there. Drop down through the ribs, open out through the top of the chest there, tuck the chin, lengthen up through the back of the neck. Feel that invisible piece of elastic pulling you up and lengthening up through the back of the neck, nice and tall. Palms facing up, roll and drop the shoulders, and then taking your hands out to the side. Good work. And slow it down a little bit. I'm my own worst enemy at moving fast. I actually got into Pilates because I'm much more into any kind of fast exercise, but we're the ones that need it the most, the people who are more likely to do the faster forms of exercise. Good, because we need slowing down and controlling and the core to work. Now take the hands out, stretch the arms out, take a second to pause there, stretching your fingertips out to the side, dropping the shoulders, locking out the elbows, elbows back in, hands back together, hands out, arms out, elbows in, hands together. Keep breathing. Good. Drawing in the tummy, weight back through the heels. Tucking the chin, lengthen the back of the neck. Good. And then we're going to turn the palms down and back up again. From here, down, back up, elbows in, hands together. And it's actually much better to kind of think about rotating as far as you can, even if those palms are kind of rotating right round and facing backwards, and then all the way round the other way. And that gives you that lovely stretch up through the arms and the shoulders. Good. Feels a little bit unnatural, but sometimes the unnatural is good. Lovely. And then we'll move on to the next exercise, heading down towards the feet. So check your feet are pointing forwards again, hands on your hips, lifting one heel, drop the shoulders, tuck your bottom under, swap and push each heel down to the floor, tightening the thigh. Good. So first of all, concentrating on the hip area, squeezing the glutes and tightening the thigh each time, tightening around the knee. So to tighten the thigh, you kind of pull your kneecap up and squeeze through there. And then concentrate on the foot and ankle area. So you're pushing the front of the ankle forwards, directly over that big toe, to stretch through the foot and ankle. Good. Lovely. Both heels on the floor. We're going to slide one arm down the side to stretch up through here, which feels really good. And then the other side. So concentrating on the waist for the first few. And then concentrating on the fingertips, stretching down for the next few. And that gives you a bit more of a stretch through the arm. Good work. Lovely. So standing very firmly, we're going to take the weight onto that left leg, which kind of frees up the right leg here a little bit. But we want to keep these hips as level as we can. So hands on the hips, drop the shoulders with that nice free right leg, because you're stiff and tight and strong through the other one. We're taking it out to the side. Now I want you to think about scooping away with that foot, not lifting it. As soon as you think about lifting it, the whole body goes like that. So scoop away from you to the side with the foot. Good. I didn't think about the building work that was going on out here. Hopefully there are not too many bangs. Brilliant. Take the weight onto the other leg. Remember to squeeze and tighten up through that standing leg. Your other leg is nice and free. Drop the shoulders. Take that leg out to the side. You will need a bit of adjustment. You'll see my body go over to the side a little bit, then I think about keeping it up tall. Keep your toes pointing forwards. Lovely, so that really gets those glutes firing up really nicely. Then we'll do some squats. Now the glutes are working, the squats can feel easier. So we're sitting back into the heels and coming up tall. Good. We've done this before with the mat rolled up underneath the heels, but I'm choosing not to today. We're not going down as low. You sit back into the heels and squeeze your glutes on the way up. When you come forwards, think about drawing in through the tummy. Good, and think about tightening your thighs to squeeze them when you come up to the top. Give them an extra squeeze and lift when you come up to the top. Good. Just a couple more. Good. And because we missed out all these lovely leg exercises on Tuesday because it was just so super hot, I just want you to step one leg back here and we're going to do some of my favourite split squats, because do you know what? No matter how fit you get, these will always burn your thighs. So up high on that back toe, that's really important. And even when you come up out of it, you stay and you pull high up through that back foot. Everything pointing forwards, bottom tucked under, coming down and back up. If you know you're strong enough, bring that back knee down to the floor. If you're concerned with that, then just nice and shallow but strong. Two more. Brilliant. Swap sides. Up on the toe on the other foot. Bottom tucked under, up nice and tall, get your balance. Good, once you've got that, off we go. That knee down to the floor, squeeze your glutes on that back leg and pull up through your heel. 5, 6, and you feel everything tightening on the way up and you have to think about where you need to work. Good. Number 10. Lovely. And come back in, give those legs a little shake. And let's come up onto the toes. So I've planted myself here with nothing to hold on to, so we're going to have to use our balance. Arms down by your sides or hands on your hips. Draw up through your heels and come back down again. You're going to have to really work on that balance. Picking up through the heels and come back down. Imagine your weight has to go minimally forwards to come up onto the toes and then minimally backwards. So think about that, drawing up onto your toes and back down again. Drawing up onto the toes and back down. Really think about squeezing through the calves as you go. Good. 3 more. Last one. Good. Really important to have nice strong calves and feet. It protects you from all sorts of injuries. Lovely. So coming down onto the floor, onto the end of your mat, toes pointing forwards, hands just on the front of your thighs there. Take a really nice breath in, and as you breathe out, curl, curl, curl down. Good. When your fingertips are on the floor, they may be, they may not be, they may be just on the front of the thighs there, wherever you are there. Take another nice deep breath in and back out again. Bend and straighten alternate knees. Pushing each knee backwards, tightening the thigh in this position. Let your arms go heavy, head go heavy. Good. Take the right arm up and out to the side like that and rotate around. Good, slightly awkward stretch, but still beneficial. Other side, up and round. Good work. And come back down. Lovely, just let yourself hang there and feel the stretch that little bit more. And then it's coming down onto the hands and knees. Good stuff. All right, let's start off with some press-ups and get those out of the way. So you can do your box press-ups, which are here, your half press-ups, which means your shoulders, hips and knees all in line. There we go. And then obviously full press-ups if you want to. I would like to do 2 sets of 10. So we'll do our 10, we'll have a little stretch and we'll do another 10. What I really want you to concentrate on today is getting your chest down to the floor. Let's wait for this train. That if your belly touches the floor first, then you know you're arching your back too much, and most people do arch their back a little bit too much with these. So tuck the bottom under and stay really strong through here, and really try and get your chest down towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch the floor, but get down as low as you can. Really important. So let's do our set of 10. Choose your method, and off we go. Low and back up. 1, 2, and you may end up changing on the second set. 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 more, 10. Lovely. Sit back into your heels to have a little stretch off from that one. Good. For lots of people, press-ups are their nemesis, and I tell you what, it's very empowering to be able to do a good set of press-ups. Makes you feel really nice and strong, and it's very toning and strengthening for the arms and your core as well. So we should be ready for this second set. Choose your method, get yourself in position, nice and strong, and off we go. 1, nice and low. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. They are hard, especially when you focus on them. I would like us to come down on the floor and do a little arm series that I haven't done for a few weeks. So if you tuck your chin, arms down by your sides, I would like you to lift up your shoulders, lift up your hands, hands down, shoulders down. Your forehead is on the mat. Your bottom's tucked under and your feet are still on the floor. So the hands lift and then the shoulder blades pull together to lift up the arms, and then arms down, shoulders down. Shoulders, arms, hands, shoulders. No, your shoulders won't come down to the floor. So they are just waggling around in the air there. Your shoulders might come down to the floor. Good. 3, 2, 1. Hard after the press-ups. You really feel that you've worked your arms. And then in that same position, we're going to lift up the shoulders, lift up the hands, and pulse the hands up and down, remembering to keep tucking your bottom under, lower tummy scooped in. Palms facing down now, and pulse up and down. Good. Palms facing in and circle out. You will be tiring on these, so don't worry if you're really feeling it. Circle inwards. Make sure you keep your breathing relaxed and your chin tucked, whether your head is hovered or not. Lovely, and then just bigger out and in. Lovely, and stop there. Okay, if we bring the elbows onto the floor, this is quite a nice stretching one. Your elbows should be just a little bit wider than your shoulders there, but generally down underneath the shoulders. Make a little diamond with your hands here, with your fingertips and your thumbs. And I want you to just drop and then push up and away. Drop and push up and away, and that just stretches around those shoulder blades. They will be a bit tired from those exercises that we've just done, but it does stretch around there for you. Keep your chin tucked still, so I don't want you aiming to the floor with your chin like that. Lovely. Okay, we're going to push up onto the hands and knees again. There we go. Just a little wrist stretch where we come forwards and backwards over those wrists. Give those a little bit of a stretch there. Draw in your tummy. There's no rest around the rest of the body, even when we're doing simple exercises like this. Good. All right. With the right leg, draw in the tummy, stretch back, lift, down, in, and then out to the side. You can't see it on that side so much, so I'll do the other one. Stretch back, lift, down, in, and then sideways. Brilliant. Back, lift, down, in, sideways. Lovely. Keep your chin tucked, neck lengthened at the back. Drawing in the tummy, wonderful. Now I'm really pointing my toes there. It feels good to point and stretch through there, but you don't have to be so pointed. You could flex. Good, that gives you a whole different feeling. It might make you use your glute a little bit more if you flex the foot. In fact, I feel like pointing the toe makes me use my glute more. That's interesting. Lovely. One more each side. Lovely. Sit back on your heels and stretch, and then come forwards and stretch the other way. I'm hoping some of you are feeling a little bit more flexible in your backs now after doing these things more regularly. Great. And last one. I'm going to group our exercises in this position together. So I'm going to come down onto the elbows and we're going to do one little plank exercise here. So if you remember, we do our two different ones where we drop the knee down and then we keep both knees down and straighten one at a time. So let's do 20 of each and let's see if we can do it continuously. On the elbows, legs out in that plank position, draw in your tummy, drop one knee down at a time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19. I'm not going to do it continuously, that was way too much to do 40 all in one go, so have just a little rest there. And we'll do the second set of 20. As I was doing it, I was thinking, no, we're not doing this continuously. All right, onto the elbows, that's enough of a rest. Get yourself in position, but this time starting with your knees down and your toes tucked under. Straighten one at a time. 1, 2, 3, keep strong. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 10, a little bit easier this one I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lovely. Gosh, that's quite a lot of exertion for the first few exercises there, isn't it? Turning around and sitting. Coming up tall, arms out in front of you, drop the shoulders, curling back, scooping in, pulling up tall. These ones are lovely for your back, for your lower back, positions that you don't usually use. So I always like to add them in, they're so conditioning for the back. Draw in your tummy. Good. pulling up tall. You can almost think about it as, this is where you spend a lot of your time. This is where I want you to be, you know. So scooping in and pulling up tall. Great, and let's just add the arms in, broadening them and out and scooping outwards. Good. 2 more. Last one. Brilliant. Come down onto your backs. Ah, that's nice, isn't it? To lie down. Brilliant. So feet hip width apart, tucking through your chin, broadening out through the chest so the backs of the shoulders come down towards the floor, but also pull the shoulders down away from the ears. That goes without saying, those shoulders are always creeping up. Breathe in, breathe out, and drop the ribs. Keep that little arch in the lower back, feet hip width apart, toes pointing forwards. Tighten through your pelvic floor. Not too much, so remember not to squeeze and grab through there, just as tightening, just a gentle tightening. And then lifting one leg up at a time to tabletop. Make sure those toes aren't too high. Make sure you're not pulling your knee in towards the chest too far. Make sure, yeah, I've already said that, make sure the toes aren't too high. So those are the common mistakes. Draw in through your tummy. Ribs down. Keeping that little arch in the back, that's probably one of the most important things. That puts you in neutral for the pelvis. Good. Lovely, and then knees, one knee out to the side. I'm going to group all these level 1 exercises together today. Lowering one knee out to the side and come back up, and then the other one. Make sure you use your glute a little bit to take the leg out to the side. That provides some nice stability around here. Stops your hips from rocking. Now, do I have enough room? Yes, brilliant. So we're going to stretch one leg out, pull the toes up, and then come back in again and stretch the other leg out. Pull the toes up and come back in. Lovely. Draw in the tummy, keep that arch in the back, trying to keep everything lovely and stable. Good. Now then, level 2 of everything. So ribs down, tummy in, right leg up, left leg up. So we're joining in with those outer muscles there. Good. Nice breaths as you go, just to tell yourself, I can breathe and control around my middle at the same time. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It doesn't have to be a choice. One reason I encourage lots of conversation in my classes when I actually teach live classes, gosh, that seems like a thing of the past, but I encourage everybody to have lots of chat along, because it means that you're breathing. If you're talking, you're breathing. And if you're still doing the exercise well, then fantastic. Other leg. Joseph Pilates would have hated me because he liked sessions to be silent and focused. Leave your problems at the door. Where we tend to air them all. Modern day Pilates. Good. All right, so knees and toes together, arms out to the side if you've got enough space, picking up the hip and taking the legs over. I usually say hands on the ribs, but actually it's quite nice to have the arms out to the side. So pick up the hip, make sure you pick up the foot as well. Knees and toes pinned together, arms stretched right out to the sides, helps to keep those ribs down. Great. Picking up the hip, taking the legs over. Good. So it's a stretch through the back, but it's also an exercise of stability as well. Lovely. feet wider again. You can keep your arms there if you want to, it's quite nice. Stretch the right leg up, out, in, down. Tighten that thigh. Tuck your chin. If you're anything like me, I can even feel the shoulder blades working a little bit in this position. I can feel my upper back after those press-ups, I think. Good. Lovely. So back to that first exercise, that scissors exercise. Bring the arms in, I would say, legs up to tabletop. Draw in the tummy and tap the toes down. In fact, why not have them out to the side? It's quite an interesting feeling there. You have to stabilise. Draw in your tummy. Good, keeping those ribs down. Good, even though the sun's out, it's still quite bright out here. Starting to have my eyes closed. Now 20 fast ones. Keeping everything stable. Lovely. Come back down. Those legs a little shake. And this is where it all gets a little bit intense because we're straight on to the next exercise. Keeping that arch in the back with the ribs down, arms still out to the side, legs up, and we're stretching away and coming back in. Stretch away and come back in. Draw in the tummy, tighten the thigh. Nice and relaxed. Brilliant. Good, and keeping them there, taking one leg out to the side and come back in. Good. Hoping those trains aren't bothering you guys too much. There seem to be more today than usual. Good. Drawing in the tummy. Don't let the hips rock from side to side. Good. Brilliant. And come back down. Okay, with the arms, let's stretch straight up, scoop around and to the knees into a crunch. Straight up, scoop round a big circle, come into that crunch. Now remember with your crunch to keep the arch in the back. Draw the ribs down and scoop in the tummy. Good. Brilliant. Breathe. Quite nice breathe in on the way up. Out as you crunch. 3, 2. Last one. Brilliant. Okay, so a few shoulder bridges. My watch is telling me to breathe. I was breathing. I'm telling everyone else to. Heels close to your bum, arms down by your sides, tucking under with the pelvis, so flattening that lower back and then curling, curling, curling up. Now then, let's lift one heel at a time while we're up there. Up, down, mobilizing and stretching through the ankles, using those calves and using your glute at the same time as you're doing that. Good. All sorts of things going on there. Brilliant. Come back down. Some of you may feel you're using your hamstrings more. Now that can be a problem. In those shoulder bridges, we really want you to be using your glutes as much as possible. So try your best to squeeze your bum and maybe try to relax off the hamstrings. It's easier said than done. So if I get you to curl back up again, squeeze the bum, tucking under, and take both knees out and in. Good. 3. Rolling onto the outside of the feet. 9, 10. Good. Lovely. Curl back down. And those glute and leg exercises were a little bit of a distraction away from the abs, because I just wanted to do a few more of the abs exercises here if we could. So I want you to bring your legs up, hands behind your head, into a crunch, turn to the right. And I want that right leg going out and in. We're going to do 10 on this side. 3, you can have the other leg down obviously if you struggle with both legs up. 7, 8, 9, 10. Rotate to the other side and off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we'll do the alternate one. There, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And last one of these, pushing the hands onto there. Your neck might feel it, so have your head down if you need to. 1, 2, 3, keep pulling in the tummy. 4, 8, 9, 10. Swap sides. 1, 2, 3, keep pulling in the tummy. Have the other hand on the head actually, couldn't you? Lovely. Knees into your chest and waggle your feet around. It's good to have a little stretch through the ankles. Good. Or is it just me? I'm mentioning that all the time, aren't I? I do get stiff feet and ankles actually. Give them a shake. Good. So, onto your side. Coming up onto the elbow first. Tucking the hip back. Tuck your bottom under. Push up out of that elbow so you're really nice and strong. That feels so much better than that. Shoulders down and push up out of the elbow. And lifting your knee. Pull in the tummy. Another 10. Ooh. 10. Feet up. Go again. Keep pushing up out of the shoulder. 10. Foot down, leg out, toes up. That feels that stretch down the back of the leg. Up and down. 7, 8, 9, 10. Rotate, toes up, rotate, toes down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Big up and down. I feel like I can't even do them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, nice one. Other side. Good. Being up on the elbow turns it into a nice sort of whole body exercise a little bit more. So pushing up out of the elbow, tucking the bottom hip back, tuck the bottom under, hand on your hip, feet together and in line with your bum, and off we go. Another 10. 10. Feet up. 17, 18, 19, 20. Stretch out the top leg, pull the toes up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strong. 8, 9, 10. Rotate. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. And big up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, they were hard today for some reason. Cross your legs. Well, we did do some glutes at the beginning, didn't we? So that's probably why. Sitting up, crossing the legs, dropping the shoulders, draw in your tummy, come forwards a little bit, side to side a little bit. You should be feeling those stretching off slightly. Good. Lovely. Swing one leg around into your mermaid position. So starting off quite nice and stretchy, up, 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 round, down onto that elbow, feel the stretch, and come back up. And go again, down onto the elbow, up and over, 2, and again, 3. Good, over to the other side. 1, 2, 3. Good. And then up high. 1, lifting the hips. 2. And then why not? Let's take it on to the next level. So what you've got to do is have, I can't remember there, so back leg behind, front leg in front, obviously, and you've got to stretch right out, and you've got to stretch both legs up as you come over. So where you end up with your feet in line like this, so you start like this, and then you end up with your feet in line, and shuffle your feet however you please, to be honest. 1, both legs out straight. 2, 3, push your legs straight. Brilliant, enough of that. Onto the other side. Quite hard, aren't they? Good. So up tall, and we're going to be coming down onto the elbow first. 1, trying to keep this hip down. I didn't say that this time. 2, 3. Other side. 1, 2, shoulders down, 3, down onto the elbow as you come to the other side. 1, good, 2, 3, coming up. 1, 2, just the hips up to start with. 3, and then get yourself in that position, that funny position there, and you've got to step that hand out a little bit because you've got to go in that direction. Pushing up through the legs. 1, 2, 3. Not bad. Felt easy on that side, not quite sure why. Lovely stuff. So let's come onto our hands and knees and do a few stretches of the back, dropping down, picking up and pushing away. Push through the hands to push up and away. 3. Good. 1 leg up in front. Up nice and tall, stretch the arms up and lunge forwards into it, stretching the front of the hip. 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. Just halfway. Point and flex the ankle. Good. Other leg. Tucking under. Lunging into it. Oh, stretching up. Back halfway. Point and flex the ankle. Lovely. Hands and knees. Bottom straight up. Pushing down 1 heel at a time. Breathing. Lovely. Walk your hands to the feet and then sit down on the heels there, and that will be stretching through the knees a little bit. Maybe, I don't feel enormous amounts in this position, but some of you may. And actually, if you sit and take the weight back through your heels, you'll feel a stretch right up through the calves there. It's quite an interesting stretch there for those calves. Stretch your bottom straight up. Bend and straighten each knee again. Now my fingertips are on the floor before, and the heels of my hands are much closer down towards the floor now. So
you will hopefully feel that you've had a little bit more of a stretch there. Curling up
and bend one knee. Balance again. Good, tucking the bottom under, keeping the knees fairly close together. Push your knee down to the floor on that side. Lovely, and the other side. Pick it up, push the knee down to the floor, tuck your bottom under. Move. Stepping the legs out. Bend both knees and elbows on the knees, and your elbows push the knees out. Inner thigh stretch. Move a little from side to side to feel that a little bit more. Good. Coming up, keeping the legs in the same position, turn to the side. Push one heel down to the floor to stretch through the back of the leg and the front of the thigh again as well. Good work. Coming up, round to the other side. Push that heel down to the floor. And the front of the thigh should be stretching too. Good. Standing, toes forwards and breathing in. All the way up, breathe out, hook your hands behind your head, drop your shoulders. Breathe in, lift, breathe out and drop. Breathe in, stretch up, onto the toes again, down, round. And one more, breathing in, stretch all the way up, down onto the heels, drop the shoulders. Breathe in and lift. Breathe out, drop. Breathe in, stretch up, out and round and down in as big a circle as you can. Roll your shoulders.